Oh my God. Oh, what's going on, everybody? Hello. Can you hear me? Thank God. Okay. You should be able to hear me, but I swear to God. Of course, right before I'm getting ready to go live, two things needed an update on my system. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So you guys, absolutely. We're here. We're live. That's part of it. Tell me if you can see me and hear me. I'm trying one of StreamYard's brand new features right now. Brand new, like literally they released it today. And you guys, it's one that I have talked about for years. And that is the ability to take the chat in your StreamYard studio and move it in its own window so that you can have everything else and be controlling your media assets and everything else while also still seeing and dealing with the chat. So Tish says loud and clear. Alex says, yes, I can hear everyone. Well, this is fantastic. Okay, so literally today they released this feature. So I know not everybody here is a StreamYard user, which is fine, but what a great update. And what's really, really, really cool that I think is insane is the fact that literally you can have the chat on your phone. Like, what? So basically, and they just released today. So they basically said, or it's where you can have the chat in its own window, or you can scan a QR code with your phone and then it will put the chat on your phone. Now, why would you need this? Well, anybody, Tish, for example, I know, somebody who might be streaming and they may not be at their computer and they may have multiple cameras and they want to move around. They can bring the chat with them. They don't have to be looking at their computer monitor, or maybe they're looking down and they're working on something and they need to keep their eyes down. They can bring that chat with them on their phone. I just thought that was like, I didn't think of that. Like I was like, wow, what a amazing bonus feature that they added to that. So, all right. So we have got a lot to cover today. All right. Jennifer says there's a slight echo. I can hear Mel very well. Okay. I don't know. Hopefully the sound is great. I hope the sound's great. But here's the deal. Yeah. So Tish said, I run around like a happy puppy in the lab. This would be fantastic to have. I seriously can't wait to like play with it and show people why that is such a cool thing that we didn't think of. I mean, I'm not saying I think of everything. I'm just saying that I didn't think of that. And I'm like, that is such a cool idea. Obviously, people gave them that idea, but such a good idea for you to be able to take that chat with you. Oh, just game changer. Huge. All right. So here's the deal. We have so much to cover today because today we are definitely going to be talking about the daily upload challenge that I did. So I did 14 days of shorts and I want to talk about what I learned. Okay. So I learned some stuff, but I also had some aha moments. And then I had some things that I feel like I wanted to share with you guys because I do think that, I mean, I've been wanting to do shorts for a while. That's not new news necessarily, but I definitely felt like this challenge was the push I needed. But also, as I always say, you got to get into action. And when you get into action, it almost always has positive results. Even if you didn't gain any followers or whatever, but like anytime you get into action with something, there's always positive results. Always positive results. So wanted to give a shout out to Chatty Cathy. Hi, Mel. I'm loving your inspiring short slowly, not just regarding content creation, but in life in general. Thank you. Keep it up. Fantastic. I'm so glad that you've enjoyed the shorts because it's been interesting. I will say, and MC in the house, Marianne says, well done with the 14-day short form challenge. You guys, I will tell you something. I am totally like one of those, I'm a rebel. I like to do things my way. I do not like to be told what to do. That's not a big shock, I'm sure, to many people. But I also am not very good at things like a daily challenge that's put on by somebody else. I think you guys have all heard me say, and if you haven't heard me say it, I'll say it again. There's that like methodology of, oh, if you put it in your calendar and you schedule it, then you're more likely to do it. Not me. No, if I really don't want to do it, I will find a way out of it. I will find a way out of it. Or, oh, announce it to the world that you're going to do that and you're more likely to do it. Nope, not me. Done that before and still willing and still able to find a way to weasel my way out of it. So anyway, my point is that I do think that those are effective methods for a lot of people. I'm too much of a rebel and I'm way too rogue. Doesn't work for me. So this is definitely something where I was very proud of myself because I did it. I did it and I followed through with it. And scrappy, not crappy, right? There were definitely some days where I was like, if I had a bunch of time or I didn't need to get this published today, I wouldn't probably publish it. But there were a few of those shorts that I did that I'm like, hey, done is better than perfect. And honestly, I will say what's really interesting, and I'm going to get into, I have a whole freaking list, you guys. I got a whole freaking list of stuff we got to cover today. So, but what's crazy is that I was like, I have to like live in all the stuff that I teach and I coach people with. Scrappy, get scrappy, not crappy. Done is better than perfect. Stay in action. But one of the things that I will tell you that was eye-opening for me and was very helpful for me is that I approached this with very little expectation. And I don't know if you see this, little meaning like none, okay? Like zero. So, and the reason I did it is because I knew my goal was I didn't have some goal of launching anything. I wasn't launching a new channel. I'm not launching a product or a program right now, maybe later this summer. But like, I literally am like, I am just in a phase where I need to have fun and I want to be dabbling and I want to be creating. And I also, very much like many of you and like many people we know who are in the online space or doing anything, we tend to kind of get in our own heads. And sometimes for me personally, one of my personal challenges that I deal with is I absolutely deal with this challenge of I have multiple audiences. I mean, I'm multi-passionate. I've got, there's like the tech side of me that loves to tinker with tech and teach and do all that. Then there's like, of course, the mindset side of me that likes to empower and motivate and just get you going and coach you and whatever. And then there's this corporate-y-ish business version of me. Like I love business. I freaking love business. I love business development. I love marketing. I love strategy. I love business development strategy. I'm super geeking out right now about AI and to a point where I literally haven't even like spent enough time with it that I want to, but I'm also trying to be careful because I know that I'll like immerse myself and like next thing you know, I've not showered in 6 days and whatever. And I'm just saying like, I'm all over. That's me. I also have a lot of hobbies. I have so many things I love. And for me, that makes it hard for me because it's like, as we all know, if you are everything to everyone, you are nobody, right? Like you're nothing. So I'm trying to figure out how can I move forward as a multi-passionate human and content creator and business person and not have to have 4 channels. Right. And that's sort of that's why, in a way, I think I've been a little feeling stuck for the last few years. It's kind of like, what is the next evolution of me? And it could be multiple versions. And as many of you know, for the last 4 years, I was in a very good corporate position for a really cool job. I was a VP of business development, and I loved it, but it was very consuming. And I went back to the corporate world, learned a lot. It was great for me. It was what I needed to do for me and my family. And now I'm feeling this, now that I'm in between worlds again, I'm feeling this like strong desire to get back to that entrepreneurial, creative freedom, to explore, to tinker. I want to get back to doing programs again and offering programs and all the things. So it's kind of been this sort of like, I feel like it's like, oh, what does this look like? And you know what? Here's the deal. This challenge for me was a huge mindset shift. It was kind of like an unlocking for me. And I knew it was going to be, which is why I did it. And which is actually why I think I did all 14 days, because I knew I'm not there. The stakes are low. There's nothing crazy happening. I don't have 100,000 followers that I'm going to confuse or thwart away, or I don't have a $500,000 business that's at risk right now if I go out here and make a fool of myself. That's the beauty of when you're kind of like in this like smaller, intimate world. You can experiment and you can try new things and figure out what feels right and what works also and what attracts, right? Always, the only thing I'll say is you just always still got to stay true to yourself. So if you're weird, be weird. If you're, quirky, be quirky. Experiment with everything, but still be you, right? Because you don't want to accidentally experiment trying something that's not you. And the next thing you know, oh, you just went viral, you blew up, and now you have the wrong audience, right? So that's the only thing I would say. But what's really cool is, to me, I called this my spaghetti on the wall kind of thing. So, that's how I approached it. And the reason why I felt like it unlocked the ability for me to keep moving is because I 100% approached this as there is no true goal. There's no revenue goal. There's no follower goal. There's no views goal. There's no monetization goal. I am just doing this. And my only goal is to cross the finish line. That was it. I knew, just based on experience and everything else, I knew that there would be so many benefits. There would be so many things that I would learn throughout the process. So that's what I kind of want to get into next. I want to go into some of these learnings, but let's check in on the comments. I think I'm going to go ahead and show them on screen, because we've been doing this lately and I honestly kind of like it. The only thing I don't like is when you go from regular to tall, it changes the size. I want it to stay that width, but just get taller. It's okay. StreamYard might figure it out, but let's go with the medium font, and we'll go with the tall, I guess. Does that feel okay to you guys? All right. So I want to check in really quick on the comments, and then I want to jump into some things I learned, some things that some shifts I made, and then some surprises along the way, to be honest with you. And some of it's tech, some of it's data, some of it's methods, and just, whatever. I just think it's really cool. All right. Let's see. Oh, Jennifer's not been here in a while. Jennifer, we've been putting comments on screen. We've been doing that for a while. I kind of like it. The only thing that I'll say that's interesting is I like it, but if any of you are I would be curious. In fact, you know what? I wanted to do that. I'm actually going to do a quick poll. Let's see. Where are you watching? And we're going to do a poll because I've never done one of these either. And it's also a newer feature with StreamYard. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Let's do a poll. We're going to do this poll. So you guys, I have no idea what this is like on your side, to be honest with you. So really I'm curious. So we're running the poll. I'm going to run it for a minute. And I want to see I'm going to see how this works. I have literally never done one of these. It's a new feature in StreamYard. It's a widget feature. And so I'm really curious to see. I want to know where you're watching, because where I was going with this is when the comments are displayed, one thing I've noticed is that if you're watching on a big screen TV or a smart TV, the chat overlay on, if you have it selected in your YouTube app to show the comment, the live feed, this is where it shows up. So if I show it and your TV showing it, then good option. Tish says PC. Dang it, I forgot about that. Can I edit the poll? Let me see here. I don't think I can edit the poll. Dang it. Okay. Desktop, see, you guys are hilarious. Sorry, just put it in the comments. I appreciate that. Okay. I didn't add that as I literally always watch on my computer too. So you would think that I would have had that. Oh my gosh. All right. Random poll moment. Didn't have all the options in there, but you guys are great. Love y'all. So what I was getting at is, if you're watching on a big screen and you have the chat overlay selected in your YouTube app on the TV, that's where it shows up. So if I show it, you see comments doubly, and I think that's not good, right? We don't want that. So it would be nice, and I'm sure StreamYard will eventually let us do it, because here's why I think they will. I can change where the poll is, so I can move the poll up there in the corner. I can move it up there, right? Like if I want to. I kind of like it down below, honestly. But the fact that I can move that as a widget, and now that they've done with this thing with I think more is coming, an ability to customize our streams even further. So I see a couple votes are coming in, and now I can see it. So you should be able to see those results as well. I can also hide the poll, by the way, and then I can show it. But what's interesting is I don't know how that interacts with you in the app. I've personally not interacted with a poll. I don't think from StreamYard. So I think it might be a YouTube. I don't know. I got to look into that. But thought it would be kind of fun. I actually have another poll that I did prepare before the show. So but yeah, it looks like we got a few people. Oh yeah, Marianne says iPad. I thought about adding that to the mobile. But Andrew says phone. Let's see. I watched Andrew's stream last night. It was the first time actually watching him live. I've gone and looked at his channel, and I've seen some stuff, but it like popped up last night. I was like, oh, I can join. I always try, if I see something that if I see it and it's live and I am subscribed to you, then I try to join it just to check on you guys every once in a while. And it's super fun. I can't always do it. And then sometimes I'm lurking in the background. You just don't know it. But it was actually really cool. I will say, it's a great show. It's a cool interview format. And honestly, even if you guys are not into bowling, I think you should go check out Andrew's channel, because literally, I'll put him back up. He does a really nice job. One, he's good at interviewing and listening. And two, he was playing these like clips. So he prepares before, and he like records stuff. He interviewed some people, and he was playing these clips from people talking about the person he was interviewing. And I'm like, that is so great. It does take time, but like he's creating a show. He's creating a show experience. I thought that was really, really cool. So anyway, if you guys, again, if you're not into bowling, who cares? Just go check out Andrew's stuff, because honestly, like the way he's producing these shows, I thought was creative, and I really liked it. And it just is very good. I liked it a lot. So nice job. Keep it up. Keep up the great work. Okay. I'm just checking in on comments here real fast. I want to make sure I don't miss anything important. Dish. She said, "Oh no, not me. I'm never in my own head." That's yeah. I picked up on that sarcasm, sister. I did. Picked up on it. All right, let's see. I think it's time to jump in, and let's turn this poll off so I can stop that poll. And then I'm going to show a new poll. So this is a poll about short form video. And then I'm going to jump into the some of the stuff that I learned, the insights, all that super cool stuff. So let's talk a little bit about why short form. So I would love you guys to participate in the poll that I just put up, whether you've done shorts or not sure, or you're wanting to do it, whatever. Okay, so when you guys type in 1, is that a vote? Is that how that works? Again, the poll thing is new to me. Okay, so you're typing in 1. Do you see an ability to actually vote? Because it's not showing anything yet on my side. So I'll go back, have it on the screen. I don't know if it has to be on screen for it to work for you guys. I'm not sure. But so far, got a couple of people saying yes, they've done shorts, short form. right? So short form could be Reels, it could be TikToks, it could be LinkedIn. LinkedIn has, if you post a 16 or a 9x16 video and it's short, it kind of shows up in their version of Reels, if you will. Tish says some. You have to type it in the chat. Interesting. Well, in the last poll, some results came in. So again, the polls is new to me as far as the StreamYard aspect of it. So, I don't know. I'd be interested to see how that works for you guys. Okay, we're gonna stay on track though. That's what we're gonna do. So here's the deal. Why short form video? Really quick. I've said this, I've been saying it, even though I've not necessarily been doing it, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. Short form is great for attracting your new audience, attracting people in. It's a discoverability aspect. I do think that obviously your subscribers, especially if they have notifications turned on, they're going to get notified when you upload a new short. So that's fantastic. So subscribers, as long as they are, getting the notifications from you, they're also going to see your shorts. So it's great for them, but it's really getting pushed to the new people that are not subscribing to you. And the analytics prove that. So when you look at your analytics, when I looked at my analytics, I 100%, it said mostly non-followers were the ones that were viewing the shorts. So why is it important? I think it's important if you want to grow your channel. However, here's what I will say. If you don't have anything else on your channel, like you're not live streaming or you don't have any videos up, there's not much for people to explore unless you are creating what I would call an entertaining kind of method, like a TikToker, right? Like the short form, that's all you want to do, and boom, 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 boom. For the most part, I think shorts are valuable if you're trying to bring people into your world and you want them to stay, then you need to have that other content. So the longer form, so there's like mid form content and then there's long form content. So short form is definitely going to get out there. It's going to get pushed. The algorithms are going to push it out to people and then they may come into your world. A lot of them are just going to keep scrolling though. So that's the thing. If you just put a few shorts out, I don't think this is an effective strategy. This is why I think that when you read and you hear people like Gary Vaynerchuk and others, they say you've got to be putting a lot of these out. And the reason is because most people are just going to scroll and go to the next one, scroll and go to the next one. You've probably done it yourself. Now, if you show up and all of a sudden you show up again, and then all of a sudden the next day, they're like, there's that person again. There's that same person talking. There's that person showing Canva tips or whatever. There she is again. Okay, what in the world? Oh, there's that woman who's, drawing in her planner again and playing with stickers and markers and pins. And there she is again. What's she doing? If they see you repetitively, then they're eventually going to be like, what is this person about? And they're going to click through and they're going to end up in your channel. Or if they continue to like those short form pieces of content, or they comment on it even, which I feel like hardly anyone comments on them because you can't even find the dang button to comment half the time. If the algorithms see that they're engaging by sharing it or liking it, and especially commenting on it, but especially sharing it, the algorithm is probably going to start to show them some of your other content. Okay. So as long as you have that stuff, it is a really impactful way to grow your channel. So I'm sure if you've been learning about growing on YouTube, you've already heard all that, but I had to cover that base because that's me. I always have to I have to talk about the why before we start talking about the it, right? So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to take this poll down because it says resume. Oh, you guys now see if it lets you click on it. I don't know why it was like paused. That was weird. Very weird. You should be able to click on it now. You tell me. I don't know. Maybe it just showed up in the chat for you guys. But let me know. Revote if you did. Ah, there we go. See, here they come. All right. That was weird. Okay. Oh, I don't know. That was weird. All right. So here's where we are. So I wanted to talk about some of the things I learned because I went through this again, not to grow the channel. I went through it because I know I need to be doing it. I am absolutely going to be doing everything. I'm going to be doing shorts. I'm going to be doing pre-recorded videos, the mid-length format, and then long form, live streams like this, right? And I think that in order to, the trifecta is what I call it. You got to have the trifecta to be fully successful. I have been reading and learning, and I've been saying this, and I think we're starting to see it, that it's going to truly happen. I think live video is going to be more important than it's ever been. Not only just because of the authenticity factor of it, but I think people are craving interaction. They're craving engagement. People actually are craving in real life experiences. I think we're going to see a return to meetups and conferences, and even if they're small, short, or small seminars, or just again, these networking opportunities, we're going to see these in real life things happen again. People want experiences again. They want to be around people. They want to have proximity. And we're seeing it. One of my friends, she's a muralist. She's super talented. And she keeps saying we're about to enter a very Renaissance era, especially in the art world. And people want these like activations. She literally just got back from Orlando, where she painted a mural in person at a conference in somebody's basically booth, which attracted people to the booth as she's painting this mural. But it was all prepped beforehand, and it was kind of like paint by numbers. She designed it and made it all ready. And she's like, hey, do you want to help participate? And they help. And it's like, boom. But like these types of experiences are happening now. So, okay, you guys are hilarious. It only counted me one time. I saw that you said you thought you voted twice. The poll thing is cool. I'm excited about the polls. I think it's actually a really cool way to create engagement, but also just super fun. I like it. Okay, so here we go. I want to jump into, I'm going to hide this. The poll should be, Jennifer's giving me a hard time about how I say poll, but whatever. We all say it our own ways, right? So I'm going to go in here and I want to talk about, I'm going to go through my list because that's kind of why you guys are here, right? So let's talk about this experience for me. So this was the Pat Flynn 14-day challenge. He did a 30-day challenge like maybe a month or two ago. I kind of like found out about that a couple days in, and I was kind of following along. I was like, this is really interesting and intriguing. And I really liked what he was saying about stuff. And I really enjoyed watching some of his live streams and content about short form video. Now, what's interesting is he is very, very big about creating a series, right? He wants it to be a series. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I get it. So what a series is it's like you do something. There's this guy, Roger, and Jennifer is probably really mad at me for this, but Roger Coles does this Canvas series. He did this Canvas series during the 30-day challenge. That's why I wanted to reference it, because he did the same challenge. And he basically did things you can do in Canva. And he did a short, and they were just reels. He did them on reels. He put them on LinkedIn, and he put them on YouTube. And he just did, he created a song for it and everything, really following the whole Pat Flynn, should I open it or should I keep it sealed kind of series, which is what Pat always talks about. And he did this song, and it was like, I even was like seeing these on LinkedIn, and I'm like, these are cool. And he created a series. So basically every short form video he did had the same type of format. He did the same intro, didn't have to make an intro every time, same intro. And all he did is he did like a voiceover tutorial about how to do something. But these were in short form format. And that's what he did for his 30-day challenge. And so that's an example of a series, right? And so it's the same, it's repeatable. You can batch create them very simply. And that's why Pat sort of suggested, hey, create a series. Another example of a series is things that we see where, like somebody's like, all right, let's see if I can, let's say golf, for example. Let's see if I can chip this in to the hole 3 chances each time. Let's do every day for 30 days until I make it within 3. Right? That's another example. And people will be coming back like, okay, I guess didn't make it today, so tune in tomorrow. We'll see if I get it. And like, that's another version of a series that you see. There was one that he used, which was like somebody making a rubber band, putting rubber band around a watermelon until it breaks, things like that, whatever. I was like, I love the idea of a series. I love the simplicity of it. I love the batchability of it. Love the idea of a series. At the time, which I decided to do this challenge, which was about 24 hours before it started, I was kind of like, I literally was like this. I could not come up with any ideas for a series. I was like, I'm blind. Here's why. Yeah, I could do a series. I could do StreamYard tips. I could do 30 videos and show you 30 things you can do in StreamYard, whatever. I didn't want to box myself into anything. And that was sort of why I chose variety. So I also wanted to experiment. We talked about earlier, I made a comment. And yeah, I see that Jennifer's got a question. I see some questions coming in. So definitely put your questions in here. I can see them. I've got those starred, and I'll get back to those questions. So here's the deal. Like, Marianne said for the first 30-day challenge, I did 100 skips a day. Yeah, things like that, right? So that's a super fun thing to do. It has nothing to do with Marianne's channel, right? Like, but it's fun. I think it's great. I was very much wanting to be very careful about not accidentally doing something that was a little too out there, but yet at the same time, I didn't want to do the typical stuff I always do. I wanted to explore and experiment. And so that's why I went with a variety. So you can see my short form videos on the YouTube channel here. If you just go to my shorts, you'll see them all. Or Instagram, wherever. I did them on Instagram and YouTube because that's what Pat told us to do. I literally was like, I don't want to do both of these channels because this is the other thing I ran into in one of my challenges. My Instagram world and my YouTube world are fairly different. So some of you do follow me over on Instagram, but my Instagram is probably 30 to 40% like personal connections, whether they be local community connections or friends and family. And then I'd say another 30% people like you guys, people truly like following me, learning from me. And then there's a whole other slew of people that follow me that I've met at conferences from my world of when I was going to Amy Porterfield stuff, or I was in Amy Porterfield's community. I was podcasting. It's kind of like a world of like online course creators and coaches and whatever. So again, a little bit of a hodgepodge of an audience over there. And also that audience is not used to seeing the type of content you're used to seeing from me here on YouTube. So very different content structures. My Instagram it's like a lot of personal stuff. It's like, I'm on vacation, I'm on the beach, or here's my house that I've lit up for Halloween or Christmas or whatever. Because I've always had a little bit of my Instagram has always had a little bit of an identity crisis. And I have absolutely considered, like, should I spin off and create a more professional channel? And when I say professional, I certainly don't mean like buttoned up and professional. What I mean is more of my professional world versus my Addie and my daughter getting her license world, right? Like that kind of thing. So, or can they blend? And I don't want to manage multiple channels. I don't. So I kind of said, screw it. And I did a story right before I uploaded my very first reel. Okay. So there's YouTube Shorts and then there's Instagram Reels. I did a quick story and I literally was like, look, y'all, I'm about to do this 14-day challenge. I'm about to upload all these videos. And so you're about to see this from me, and maybe you're not used to seeing this type of content from me, but this is what I'm doing. And then I literally was like, and I don't think I really am putting this out there right now for you. I'm putting it out there for me so that I feel like, okay, I let the world know I'm doing it. So now be ready. Like, do you know how many people see my story? Hardly anyone compared to the followers. So did it matter? Not really, right? Jennifer says she saw the story. I did that to unlock that little bit of permission for myself. I felt like, and you know what? It did. It kind of worked. But I didn't put it in some structured video. I just did a quick story. Boom, done. Unlocked it, gave myself permission, and go. And that's what I did. And next thing you know, start uploading these videos. And some people in my Instagram are probably like, what the hell is she doing? What is this crap? What is Melanie doing? You know what? I don't care. And again, that goes back to a little bit of that mindset shift. So I picked variety because I wanted to try a bunch of different things. I also picked variety because of those two channels, YouTube and Instagram, being very different from each other. So that's what I did. If you were thinking about doing something like this, I would 100% recommend, if you have something that is seriesable, then do a series. Especially, and here's the other thing I will say, your series doesn't have to be a daily upload. You could do a series that's every other day or once a week. I think that frequency is probably pretty powerful here. So, any of you that are teaching stuff, you can do a series. Or here's something I've thought about. I'm thinking about it, not making it a series, but maybe it's a monthly theme. Maybe this month it's StreamYard tips. Next month it's, CapCut tips. Next month it's video recording tips. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I think that create themes so that you can be batch creating and even get your people into a mindset with you. So if there's an evolution, if there's a 12-step process that goes through anything, then pick each little evolution and make that a series. So that could be something you do. I think that, Jennifer says I got bored with the theme. So there you go. If you get bored, then you get bored. Not everybody gets bored. So everybody's different, which is what's really cool about it. I think that the key here is you have to figure out what works for you so that you can stick with it. So there's that. All right. Something else that I wanted to talk about. This was something that was really, 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 I expected it. I didn't expect it to be so quick. And for me, it was unlocking the feeling of needing to be in a studio, right? I wanted and have been craving the desire to be able to just create content with less friction. And I love my studio. I love my studio, Studio A, which is where we are, and Studio B upstairs, if you guys caught those few live streams. I really like being at the desk in front of the computer with all my stuff. I feel great about it. Sometimes it's also too much. There are times when I'm like, man, I wish I have an idea. And I'm like, oh, and I'll literally not be at home. And I'm like, oh, and I wait. And then when I get home and I'm in the studio, I don't have the same energy about that topic. And so for me, I've been kind of wanting to create a little bit more off the cuff, on the go content. And so for what this challenge did, which was probably the biggest thing for me, was letting go of the studio and using my phone and just recording these videos with my phone. And it was awesome. It was super cool. I was still able to be really creative and I was still able to do it quickly. There's definitely, I think there's some pros and cons to using your phone and editing with your phone and all that, versus, a desktop computer. But it definitely made it feel like I had no room for excuses, zero room for excuses. Because if you can just make a video with your phone and that's all you need, then what's the problem? And what was really helpful for me, and I'm so glad that Pat did this. And I almost guarantee it was on purpose and intentional, because what Pat Flynn was really inspiring people to do is to not overthink it and not overproduce it. He literally he kind of was saying just use your phone. Use your phone. He didn't use a microphone. He just used his phone. I think every single video was him just using his phone. Even when he was in his studio, there were times when he recorded right there in his studio, he still just used his phone. And for me, seeing that that's how he was doing it, I thought, okay, I need to just keep using my phone. And what was helpful about that was that it just made it so much easier to just grab and go, grab and record. What was fun though, is I was still able to be creative. And so again, if you saw some of those clips, most of them, I think all of the clips except for 2 or 3 maybe were all done on my phone. 1, maybe 2. Again, I'd have to go back. I kind of forget, and that's great. It's so fresh, but I still kind of forget. I know at least one of my clips early on, because I actually got to a point in the evening where I was like, I don't think I can get something recorded, and I was really wanting and needing to spend a little time with Addie, and I was just like, I don't want to deal with this right now. And I knew that I had, because I had just recently done this as well, is in one of my live streams, I used the AI clips feature in StreamYard, which was the first time I'd used it. And quite frankly, I was significantly, I won't say I was significantly impressed. I was more impressed than I thought it would be. I had very low expectations for it actually doing a good job, because anytime I've used any AI clippers in the past, which has been a long time, I will admit, they were terrible. One, they picked terrible clips, and 2, the way they cut them off, I'm like, this is pointless. Why am I even wasting my time? I was very impressed with the AI clipping that's happening now in StreamYard. and you can edit them and do some stuff. So one of my clips early on, you can see it's in Studio B because it's very yellow. I just was like, I've got this clip, I'm going to use it. And I've got it. It's in my batch. It's in my backlog. And I had it. So it was like, I was able to pluck it out because wasn't able to record then, pluck it out and use it. It actually performed really well. I don't know if it performed really well because it was a fancy mic. It stood out compared to the others. I have no idea. Maybe the content. But again, I'll get to that in a little bit too, is the variety of feedback and the variety of, how these things performed. But I did that with maybe 2 or 3 clips, and that was it. All the others was just my phone. And so, let me take a sip. All right. So what I will say, and Jennifer's kind of saying that she said, I've done a 30-day challenge. I hate recording on phone and editing on phone. It makes me so mad. So yeah, I prefer my space and my real camera for vlogs. Sure. So Lawrence says, they were very creative clips. Thank you. What was fun is, I will say, like, I did learn some things. So I haven't done a lot of content creation with my phone. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I have, but I haven't. So a couple things. I've done enough content creation to know a few things. One, I wanted to be able to record and not have a lot of significant editing. And so I thought about some of the formats ahead of time, like, okay, I could do this and I'll do this angle and then this angle. So there were a couple of clips early on. I think I was more creative early on, and then I got a little lazy later on. That's the other thing. But like one, for example, I was recording and then I just hit pause like when you're recording on your iPhone, you can just hit pause. So instead of stopping and then recording a whole nother clip that you then have to put together, I just hit pause. And then, because it's easier to just delete a block in the middle, knowing what I was going to use for editing software. So again, I'm thinking ahead a little bit. I hit pause and then I flipped the camera around, changed my position, and I hit resume. And luckily I was able to get that clip and not have any crazy bloopers. And it just made it simple. It made it easy. So again, learning how to do this by pushing yourself, I learned things and I'm pretty good at some of this stuff, and I still have a lot to learn. Every time you play, there's new stuff, just like StreamYard. I feel like every freaking time I open it, there's something new that I got to figure out. There's a ton of stuff I've still not really played with. So right now is a very exciting time to always have something new to figure out and learn. The other thing about using my phone. So I started out using a Rode Wireless Pro mic set. So it's probably been 3 years since they came out with this mic set. They're still the decently large, blocks, if you would, like the little bricks versus the teeny tiny little things now, which I really want really bad. But I'm trying to be really responsible, not just buy stuff. So I used those at first, and I think you can hold a mic. It doesn't matter. People don't care. I just think as long as the audio is really great, it actually pulls your audience in. So I did use that mic a couple times. And then there was one time that I was just experimenting and I didn't use the mic, and in CapCut, you can enhance the audio. And I was like, let's see how it is. And it was really, really impressive. I was very impressed. I was impressed with the ability to remove background noise. So, I mean, I did a lot of these clips outside, and there was like a lot of just, outside noise, whether it be cars driving by or the birds chirping. We're in bird chirp season right now because it's spring, and I have some very loud birds that like to chirp very loudly in a particular area of my property. I don't know why, but it's like that every spring. And it's just like, I was so impressed, and it unlocked another thing for me. I was like, I don't always have to have all the gear. Like, I don't have to have it. So here's my thought. There's gear. It's helpful, but it's not required. Okay. Helpful, but not required. So the wireless set, I forgot I had it right here. So it's these guys, right? Like this set right here, this is the receiver. You hook it into the phone, and then you have the microphone set and you clip it on. So very helpful. I liked using it. I think it's great to use, not required. But here's where I think that it actually was kind of fun. There were a couple videos I did where there was one especially where I like got out of my chair and like I was talking to the camera, and then I was like, good news, bad news. So I was like following along, and then I set it down, and then the next clip was the camera was far away from me and I had my mic, and I turned around and I like walked up to the camera, and the audio level stays the same because you're using that wireless mic. I really do actually think that type of production, even though it's pretty freaking scrappy, is really good. I just think it pulls people in. It's interesting. It's creative. It doesn't require a ton. Here's the thing. Other thing I learned during this process, I didn't end up, I did use it. I don't think I used it yet. These used to be awful. I used to always say, oh, we spend all this dang money on these things. And the old models, awful. Newer models are much better. The AirPods, they are significantly better than they used to be when it comes to both phone calls and people not hearing all the background noise. But now, one of the things that used to drive me crazy is you would have a headset in, and then when you go to record a video, because I'd see it all the time too. People thought, they were like, oh, I'll have my AirPods in and it'll be a microphone. Nope. Mm-mm. People always thought it. Nope. It's just using the regular microphone in your phone, which, by the way, if you have a newer iPhone, I'd say the most recent 2 or 3 models, the microphone is way better than it used to be, especially if you're using the rear camera. But now you can actually go into your settings. When you have a video recording, you can go into your settings and change the audio input, and you can select the AirPods. You can also enhance the audio. And so again, the excuses are getting lower and lower and lower and lower, y'all. So if you don't want to go spend money on a wireless mic set, but if you have a set of AirPods, try it. So give it a shot and see how it works. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they had finally figured out a way to let us control the audio input as well as enhance the audio. So I used CapCut to enhance audio, but then you also have this option right here to enhance the audio when you're using any kind of mic set. So the phones, again, you don't have to buy all the fancy stuff. We hear it all the time. People say it all the time, but more and more and more, the gap is closing from mobile production to studio production. It's closing further and further and further. My friend James is in the house. He says, nice work on your latest content. Well, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. I know you were traveling like crazy this week. Hopefully you're resting today. Let's see. Yeah, so Jennifer says, I have the Hollyland wireless mic or DJI mic mini. I love both. I use the Hollyland if I want to use a mic on my phone and use the DJI mic mini on my camera I vlog with. Both of those I've seen a ton of content about, and I have heard nothing but great things about both of those mic sets. The the DJI mic mini, if I'm not mistaken, that's a pretty lower, a significantly lower price point. If it's the one I'm thinking of, very good quality, has a few limitations, but like I'm like, wow, for that price point, why would you not have that? So the only thing I'll say about DJI, I feel like every 2 months I open up YouTube and there's some new DJI vlogging camera, some new DJI mic set. And I'm like, I would be so annoyed if I was a DJI customer. Like I would literally be like, okay, now I just bought this and you just came out with something better. Like I feel like the last like 2 or 3 years, maybe it's just me being crazy, they have come out with so many products. And I'm like, and it's like the same product, just better, same product, better, same product, better. It'd be like Apple every 6 months giving us a new iPhone. I'm like, that would drive me crazy. But anyway, that is what it is. All right. So I'm going to talk next about, the tripod. I'm sorry. This tripod, I've had this thing forever. This is literally, I don't even think you can buy this anymore. It's Polar Pro. I have 2 of these. I just really like it. It was designed for a GoPro. But I put a mobile device clip on it. I just like it because I think it's got a very nice small profile. So I can make it really small and I can I like the wide base on it. And then you just put it up and so you have a nice tripod, or you can make it quite tall. I think it goes to 3 feet, which was really helpful. But what I like to use, and for a lot of my videos, if you go back and watch them, especially if I'm like, well, I don't like to hold my phone because you have to hold it way out. And I think it's kind of uncomfortable. And you can't hold your phone as steady when you're holding it out versus if you have your arms tucked in and you're just holding a selfie stick. So I like to use this tripod like a selfie stick. And if you have a selfie stick, even if it's one of those crappy ones you got at Dollar General or that your kids had, whatever, that works too. So if you're going to be filming yourself, then, film it like in selfie stick mode. And honestly, it's going to be a lot smoother. It's just going to be a lot better. I did a few where I was literally like this, had it open, selfie stick mode, and then I set the camera down. And again, just creative move with the camera. However you can move with the camera. Don't move too much. Don't move too fast. Move with the camera, because bring people along on a journey with you, because you're creating an element of mystery. Like, where are we going? Where's Mel walking? What is she doing right now? And that's, I think, something that you want to do. Andrew says, I have a mic mini. It serves a purpose. Not the best sound I've ever heard, but serviceable. Okay. What's interesting is, Andrew, being also in the bowling alley for some of your content, you probably have to kind of be very conscious of the audio, because you almost probably want the background noise, but you don't want it to have that weird, muffly, funky background noise. Or maybe you don't want the background noise because you just can't hear it. I don't know. Tish says, I've been using a Deity mic hooked to one of my old iPhones, but also use my Rode mic clipped to my hat for backup, since you can record on that alone. Yeah. That is one thing that's nice. 32-bit float or whatever the heck that is, which means it records on here. I don't know, I'm not an audio engineer. We all know that. But yeah. Okay. I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to talk about. So let's see. Did I have anything else? Oh, I talked about CapCut. I'll say this before I shift into paying attention to the performance of the videos, because next I want to talk about the performance of the videos, how they did, which ones did better than others, what surprises I felt there, and then what some tweaks I made along the way to kind of, again, because this was an experiment. Okay, what's going to work? Do I need to care about the title? Because you read all kinds of stuff. Some people say, don't worry about the title. Nobody even sees it anyway. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I want to talk about that. And then, but before I do, I guess I should probably point out one more thing, since we're sort of talking about style and format, and that is the editing. So some videos I edited. Like, there's a couple videos where I used some sound effects between the transition. There's a couple where I had, some just I used a filter, like a transition filter, to do something. Like, there's one where I'm thinking, and I used one of the CapCut things. And so I had a few videos where I kind of added a little bit of that creative editing. And then some videos had zero. Some videos were multiple clips, whereas a couple videos were literally one clip. It's me walking, recording, and I sit down, and it's the end, and then that's it. I will tell you that I wanted to try all the different formats. I felt pressure to I like to edit and create fun stuff, but then I'm also wow, I just published a 2-minute video and it took me 45 minutes to make it. And I'm that I don't want that to be the case. I want to be able to be scrappier and a little bit more down and dirty. So I pushed myself to do some of these, try to come up with faster creative ways, and then also be okay with, hey, sometimes one shot is okay, right? And so, good question. I saw that question pop up. Yes. So, I did a variety of those as well. I felt like I tried Instagram edits. I used CapCut. I think I even used Canva for one of them. But for the most part, because again, I think editing is important. I also use CapCut on my phone versus CapCut on my desktop computer, because I do have a paid plan for CapCut. For me personally, the easiest was CapCut on my desktop. As much as I appreciate and like being able to do this stuff on my phone, I do not like how intricate your placement, especially when you're trimming videos or doing splits or anything like that, deleting certain parts that maybe where you flubbed up. That is extremely annoying to do on your phone. That's just how I am. I hate it. It's you can't quite get where you want. It takes me longer versus just stick it in CapCut, highlight. I mean, I transcribe the thing, find where I pause, delete it, boom, just like Descript, boom, deletes it, cuts it out of the video. Create captions, click, create, done, read them, make sure they're correct, watch the video one time, edit it if it mistyped something, boom, done. It, for me, so fast to do CapCut for these. Just so fast. I've not even gotten to a place where I'm creating presets and stuff for my own things. That's why some of the captions look one color versus other captions in other videos were different. I just 100% There were a couple times I absolutely used my phone because I was like, this is easy. And I was like done recording and I was like, all right, I'm going to sit here and, Friday night, I'm going to make a cocktail and I'm going to sit here on my back porch and I'm going to edit this thing and I'm going to publish it. And I did that. But it's like, for the most part, I found it much easier to just do it on my computer. This is why I think it all comes down to this. The most friction was literally all of the in between. It was, okay, I just recorded these clips. Now I need to go get them onto my computer. So I'm going to plug my phone in, open up that file, drag them in. I know that there's better workflows that I can develop. I haven't done that. Get it in there. Okay, get the files in. Now edit. Okay, now download the clip. Now upload, because I just did the upload. If I did it on my computer, then I uploaded it from my computer as well. So the most friction was all the in between. The editing and the filming was easy, right? So I think that because of that, where I'm going with this is, again, it goes back to the beauty of batching. I think that if you can batch create, then you can do all your filming and then you can get all your clips moved and then you can sit down and be like, all right, now for the next hour, I'm gonna edit these 4 shorts that I just filmed. And I just think that's just a healthier way to work. Everybody says it. I've said it. I've done it. It works the best. I think you just have to, again, batching just simply requires you to plan ahead, set up the time and the format, do it, and then set up the time to batch edit and then decide, when you want to publish that stuff. So I definitely think that it works. All right, let me get into some Q&A before we transition over to the part that I wanted to talk about, which is how the analytics and the feedback and stuff. But I'm going to do some Q&A here really quick because I see we did get some questions. But if you're just now joining us, I did the 14-day challenge with Pat Flynn, 14 days of daily shorts and reels. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what I learned in this process. So that is what we are going through right now. All right, so I'm going to go way back in time here a little bit. So Jennifer said, what was your favorite part of doing the challenge? I mean, I'll be honest with you, my favorite part was just all the little nuggets I learned along the way. I mean, action gets you into action. And you really, when it comes to tech, you really can't learn it. You can watch YouTube videos and see how people do stuff all day long. But until you actually explore it and do it yourself, that's the best way to learn. And so for me, it was just all the little things that I learned along the way, like discovering because it pushed me. I'm like, is there a way? Because you're when you're in the middle of doing something, you have thoughts, you have insights, you have wanders, and you try to figure stuff out. And so then you go into that phase of figuring stuff out. So that was probably my favorite part, honestly, the tinkering, of course. Why did you not link them to each other? Do me a favor and rephrase that question because it was a while ago, so I'm not sure what you're referencing. My bad. Let's see. Lawrence says, did you feel that creating those shorts daily took away time from creating other content, including lives? This is a really great question. Short answer, no. Short answer, it really didn't, Lawrence. Did I create any lives? No, I didn't. But that was because I honestly was working on a few other things. It didn't take away. I just didn't create. I didn't create other stuff, and I didn't do any lives. I think I did my last live video right when this was starting, like maybe the day that it started. I actually don't remember. It was either the day before or the day it started that I did my last live. So he's right. I didn't really, but I've also been working on sort of what is my new live schedule moving forward, which I think I've got figured out. But honestly, I will tell you one thing about it though, Lawrence, for me is I really wasn't, I was kind of like coming up with ideas. Like this challenge actually helped me come up with some new ideas about some new content I could be creating. And so for me, I think it was it helped with the creative brain, and that side of things. But as far as like, did it take away? I really can't say that it took away. I think I just chose not to focus on that when I was doing it. Like when I'm thinking about like, oh, if I were to do this again for 14 more days, can I do that and do live videos and get at least 1 or 2 pre-recorded videos done? Yeah, I can. Again, it goes back to being disciplined to do it. Okay, this is actually such a great question because this was probably one of the harder parts about the whole challenge. He said, did you choose the thumbnail for each of the shorts? Most of them I did. Most of them I selected, it basically gives you like, you can toggle through the, the video and pick that screenshot. Most of them I did. Sometimes I let it pick one and then I went back and changed it. Then there were some where I was like, I don't really care. I will say that I do think that the thumbnail helps. I chose not to spend a lot of time, especially on YouTube, because I don't think the thumbnail helps you at all on YouTube. Because if you think about how you interact with shorts on YouTube, they just show up and they just start playing. You're not looking at a thumbnail and like, oh, do I want to click on that? For the most part. Now, if you're on the TV or if you're on your computer, you can scroll and see that thumbnail and decide whether you want to click on it. I just don't know that I feel like the thumbnails are super powerful. I chose not to let that hinder me because I knew it would create friction. Because when I sit down to make a thumbnail, like the thumbnail that I made for this video today, this thing right here, I spent 40 minutes on that. 40 minutes on that. And that's not even a fresh picture. It's an older picture. And I think that thumbnails are so annoying. I hate them. I literally have a passion of hatred for thumbnails because there is a science to them. And I just feel like I can never get them to be the way I want. I don't really want to use AI too much on thumbnails. And I'm just sort of like, I don't love thumbnails. I don't love them. So I just kind of decided to be like, screw it with the thumbnails. He said, CapCut's terms of service don't scare you. Not really. I mean, honestly, I try not to overthink everything. There was a period of time when I was like, oh, I'm not using CapCut. I'm just not that worried about it. I think that honestly, if you're worried about CapCut's terms of service, you probably ought to read the fine print for all of them because they pretty much, all of them have issues. Everything we're using right now has issues with terms of service. So I try not to overthink some of that stuff. Again, I'm trying to remove friction, right? I'm not building the next like cure to cancer here that I need to protect or do anything with. So I just don't worry about it too much. Okay, he says, why are your shots not linked to each other? YouTube calls it related video. Oh, okay, great point. That kind of brings me into the next thing. I did do that. So here's the thing. Some things I did about 4 or 5 videos in, it's about 5 or 6 videos in. I was like, all right, let's take a look at the feedback. How are these performing? Let's look at what's doing well, what's not, because that was one of my biggest goals is to do a variety of style, mindset, tech tip, et cetera, and no surprise, Instagram results were different than YouTube results. There was some overlap, but like there was a little bit of difference. And so another thing, what I did about 6 videos in, I was like, okay, couple of these videos, like there was one, it's like my favorite one. The one where I'm pulling the weeds and I'm talking about pulling weeds and getting rid of things in your audience. I love that video. I really like that video. Maybe it's also that video, I had my mic attached. I had them backwards. I don't know what I was thinking. I had the monitor attached to me and the mic plugged into the phone. So it did not use the microphone and it was one that probably needed it. And the audio is pretty low in it. But anyway, that video is one of the lower performing ones. And I'm like, the message is so good. And it's kind of like, oh, what's she doing? She's working in the garden. Like I wanted to try a style of me doing something else, but talking about, something strategic. Because that's actually like, I like content like that and I want to create content like that. And so I was like, why isn't this doing very well? So I went in and I was like, I need to optimize all these. I was being lazy about it. A couple of them, I didn't even have descriptions, like same on Instagram and on Shorts. So here's what I did about halfway through. I think it was like maybe video 6. I went in and I used Gemini. I made a video about it. Actually, one of my shorts is literally about what I'm about to tell you I did. And I went in and I basically pasted a link to the video. I said, here is a short on my channel. I would like you to help me improve the title and create a better description for this. And it gave me like 3 different options based on the style I wanted. And I did that I said, okay, let's do this video next. Let's do this video next. Let's do this video next. So I went back and updated all the videos I had done thus far. And then I was like, why would I just do that for YouTube? So I was like, hey, can we do the same thing? Let's update these for Instagram as well. So it did an Instagram style. So then what it did, I didn't even have to, it knew what we were doing. So I'm like, all right, here's the next video. And I would paste it. So basically what I started doing was every day when I uploaded the video, I'd go back and I'd say, here's today's video. And it would give me 2 options for YouTube and 2 options for Instagram. And then it would also sometimes give me another tip and be like, hey, notice that you talked about XYZ. This would be a really good idea if you did blah, blah, blah. So it was really interesting to use AI for the part I hate the most about content creation, which is the optimization of everything except the actual content, which is your titles, your descriptions, and your thumbnails, right? Did not use AI for any thumbnails, by the way, just so you guys know. I have yet to use AI for any thumbnails. I have explored a couple of options out there. I definitely plan to utilize AI to help me with my thumbnails in the future. As of right now, though, just not there yet. Didn't go there. It was helpful for me to let it think for me because honestly, by the time I'm done creating and editing the video, my brain is done and doesn't want to work on titles and descriptions. So with that being said, this goes back to batching. I think this is why batching is key. Create, edit, and then optimize. And you can do it all in those batches because those are different mindsets. But the other thing back to Davidson's All Natural Gem, what he was saying about why I didn't link them. I actually did. So a few of them I noticed, again, these are things I didn't know existed until I'm in there editing in YouTube, is that it lets you pick related video. And I'm like, oh, well, this one's kind of related to that. Oh, this one's kind of related to that. So I did start to do that with a couple. I've not done it with all of them, and I need to go back in and do that. So great point. I do think it's important to link your videos together because I think it will help if someone watches a video, YouTube can present another video you've done that's a similar topic that they might be interested in. So that was something I did. But the analytics were really interesting. I did notice in the beginning, I felt like YouTube was trying to help me out, probably because it was like, and I do believe that YouTube does do that. I think that when they see something, a new creator, or they see something new from a creator, it kind of pushes stuff for you. Because I felt like the first video did okay, probably because most of my subscribers were like, oh, what's this? I don't usually see these things from Mel, you know? And then there was one video that it was interesting. You could see it. It pushed it and then it was like flat and then it pushed it again. It was like the views. It was like boom. And then it was flat and then it was like boom. And it was almost exactly 12 hours apart, both of those pushes. And I thought that's systematic view. Like that's the system pushing and pushing. Like it looked like by design on a schedule. So that was interesting to see. So it's almost like it pushed it and people responded to it well. So it said, okay, let's push it again. And, you know, if you watch anybody that talks about YouTube and how the algorithm works, they say that. They're like, if they'll push it out and if it gets a good response, they'll keep doing it. They'll keep doing it and keep doing it. So I could see that with a couple of the videos. And then some of the others were a little random as far as the overall chart, which I thought about showing you my analytics, but I didn't have them pulled in time and I didn't really want to do it in a rush. I'm actually thinking about doing a short mid-form recap of this later. But one of the things that was interesting, it was like everything, like as far as the channel performance, it was kind of like the views, it was like woo, and it was like all up here. And then it like tanked for a couple of days. And then it kind of went back up. It was very weird. So again, I want to kind of step back and like really peel back everything individually for each video, but then also look at it a little more globally, because I think that's something for things to pay attention to. I'm like, ooh, is that when I optimize? Is that when I edited things? Really pay attention to what you're doing and the activity. But also, as I always say, do not overthink the analytics. The most important thing and the most important metric for you is to freaking just do the work, like do the stuff. So don't overthink the analytics. Just get into action and create. I think if we overthink all the responses and the feedback and the data, it can just mess us up. If you are monetized or if you are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers or more, analytics are extremely important. You need to be paying attention to all that stuff. If you're creating content as a full-time job all the time, you need to be paying attention to that stuff. But if you are still a smaller channel, still more intimate, or if this is a hobby channel for you or whatever, don't overthink the analytics. Let them guide you and let them provide you with, hey, that worked really well. Let me now figure out why that worked really well, right? And just start to try to pay attention that way. But don't let the analytics get you down. That's the most important thing ever is don't, like, for me, I'm like, dang it, why did my video with me pulling weeds and talking about your audience, make sure there's no weeds in your audience. Why didn't that do well? It didn't. It is what it is. So what? It might do well later. In fact, that's the thing. People talk about it. They're like, oh, weirdly, this other video out of nowhere just blew up. And it's like, who knew? So I just don't worry about it. I think the most important thing to focus on is to stay in action and to be creating. So yeah. So there was definitely for me, it was interesting. I think I got one negative comment thus far, or somebody said this video was a waste of time. This could have been accomplished in 4 seconds. I'm like, I can't even say my name in 4 seconds, whatever. And then you go to their channel and it's like they have 2 videos up and they look like, I literally was like, abort, 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 get out of here. So, I think that to just do it, I honestly, my biggest recap for me was the biggest takeaway and the biggest recap for me, 100%, was just the act, like the more it created momentum for me, like being and doing it and knowing like, okay, this is what you're doing and this is what you're doing. It created momentum. But for me also just getting over the hump and just doing it, for me, it opened up my creativity, and it helped open some doors for, I think, my audience to be ready for some of this stuff, right? And again, I'm probably going to continue to have a little bit of a mindset that's not going to be super duper goal oriented, because that's not where I am. I'm in the phase right now of rebuilding. I need to get my website redone and relaunched. I've got a lot to do. So I'm in rebuild mode. So I want to keep creating content, but I'm not like going to overthink the strategy, because if you overthink it too much, you won't create. And so for me, I've even got a few things that I've recorded that I haven't even published. And I'm like, I'm not going to publish that now, but I think I will, like, I'm going to, like, I want to, like, I think where I'm getting at is, for me, it unlocked, hey, I have a thought, I have a moment, I'm going to record it now. Like, that's what it was. In fact, the other day I was in the studio doing a LinkedIn video, and I kind of was like, okay, I'm feeling it. I got the groove going right now. So I created more content. And I think that's sort of what I'm getting at, is when you're in the flow, stay in the flow. Like, don't let the moment escape you. And I think that that's so often what we do is we're like, okay, I got that done. Now move on to the next thing. Like, if you're in the flow and you're feeling it, keep going and save it for later. Just keep going, because as we all know, it can be hard to get there. The start-stop process can be very disruptive. And so that for me was great. Also just unlocking the whole style of being on the go and not needing to be in my studio all the time and whatever. I really liked that. And I just think that that's what I'm going to lean into the most, is sort of just being scrappier and more off the cuff and raw and real. Because again, I truly believe that it's what people want. And I truly believe that live video is about to have a huge burst. I think shorts is a great way to get discovered, but I still believe that long form is where you build community, where you get to know people. And that's how we all have gotten to know each other, right? And I just think that's something I want to do. So Marianne said, now when I think of something or I want to share, I make it and I publish it. Yes, exactly. So I love it. Tish says, I almost commented on that guy because I was tired and crabby. I zipped my lips. No one deserves the full force of redhead temper. Not even that guy. It's so funny. Yeah. Look, that's going to happen. You're going to have trolls out there. You're going to have people who genuinely don't like something and they genuinely comment on it. I mean, I had a few of those, but for the most, all it takes is one look. Usually it takes one look at their channel and then you're like, never mind, not going to let that bother me. You know what I mean? So, and what was really fun is during Pat Flynn's live stream, where he kind of did his little like wrap up after the 14 days, because he was launching his program, which usually when people do things like this, that's what they're doing. it was cool. He like featured some people and stuff, and he featured me, featured my comment where I said, basically my biggest takeaway was this was easier than I thought it was going to be. And that is true. That is the outcome of it, is that this was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And it got easier, honestly. So I also think that if you're going to do a lot of shorts, you need to be okay with repeating yourself and saying things you've said in the past. Some of my shorts were about things I've said. Some of my shorts were about things you guys have heard me say. But like, that's part of it. Like you're not, it's okay to rinse and repeat. Right. And that's something that I think is, you got to unlock for yourself too, if you're going to get into the shorts world, for sure. So, okay. Well, y'all, this was super cool. Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to just kind of come on and talk about everything. I think I covered everything. Yeah, I did. No, I did talk about that. I was like, wait, creative versus one shot. So like being creative versus the one shot. So basically, here's what I think the channel moving forward, I'm going to be creating shorts, but like I am definitely going to get back on a regular schedule with my live streams because I want to, and that's where I'm at. And that's Studio A this is Studio A, sorry. Studio A is here. It's good. And Studio B is good enough. I'm pretty excited about it. I also I've been thinking about this too. I want to do some live streams on the go. And so I've been thinking about a little bit of a mobile setup too. Literally, I'm like, but I'm telling you, with this thing that StreamYard released today about comments, and now you can actually have comments on your phone and the camera and your computer. I'm like, that was the missing piece. Like, I'm telling you, that was the missing piece for me, is I want to be able to like just be out and about doing some fun stuff and not necessarily have to be sitting in front of a computer. So having the phone right there just for comments, because that's really all I care about, that's so cool. So anyway, I just want to get creative again and have some fun with it. So, yeah, just appreciate you all being here. Thanks for hanging out with me in the middle of the afternoon, at least here in the United States in Indiana, on Thursday. This week is flying by. I don't even understand it. So, all right, you guys are amazing and I love you very much. And until next time, right? I'm sure that StreamYard's gonna have some other feature out for us. I don't know, but I love what you guys are doing out there. Please be creative. Feel free to ping me over on Instagram, you guys. Seriously, like if you've got something you want me to see, or if you've got an upcoming live that you want me to try to check out, let me know. Feel free to ping me on Instagram. I try to get back to people. I get a lot of crazy messages and I get a lot, but like don't be offended if I don't respond. But if you've got something you want me to look at, I would love for you to let me know over there. I love to jump in on your guys' streams. I was on obviously I mentioned earlier, I was on Andrew's stream last night, popped in there real quick. And then I was actually working on my thumbnail while I was watching his stream. So I was working on that thumbnail for this. That I just realized that. And then Davidson's All Natural Gym jumped in the comments on their stream the other night and actually had a couple related questions that they helped me answer. They got some answers for me and was actually super cool. So really like what you guys are doing out there. Keep it up. Tish, she says, I'm in the lab all weekend. Okay, fantastic. And yeah, and Lawrence, I was going to jump on yours the other day. Was that yesterday? Yesterday or 2 days ago? I can't remember. You guys were live talking and I was like, oh, and I forget where I was. I was in the car and I was like, and when I got home, I went and you were done already. But I did see it. I saw your faces. You guys I clicked it and I heard you guys talking about something about an attraction is going to make the lines way worse. And I was like, oh, that is not what I want to hear about, but I need to know what they're talking about. Because they were talking, obviously, if you guys don't know, Lawrence, his whole stuff, all his stuff in this world of his is all about Disney and the parks and all that stuff and super interesting stuff. And they've got a podcast and everything else. So I literally was like, oh no, what are they talking about? What's this new attraction? So anyway, I did. And then when I went back, it was already gone. So dang it. But all right, y'all. We're going to wrap this one up and you guys have a good one and just go create stuff, right? Make some shorts. Do it. Just get scrappy with it. You don't even have to have a microphone. You can just enhance the audio. Just use your phone. I did upload one last night. That was something. before I had to say this. So yes, the 14 days, every day I did an upload. There were a couple close calls where it was late in the day. And then I took a day off and then I uploaded one yesterday. So I don't think I'll be doing daily ones, but I am definitely going to be doing frequent ones. So that was kind of cool. So uploaded one yesterday and I uploaded that same one I did yesterday. I uploaded it to LinkedIn because that's the other area, you guys, where I believe there's power. Marianne, are you on LinkedIn? Because you should be. 100% you should be. Really, everyone has a place. Jennifer, for sure you. Everyone has a place on LinkedIn. And especially anyone talking about productivity or creativity or anything like that. Lawrence, you should be, I think you are on LinkedIn. But anyway, my point is that you can take these pieces and again, if you need it, go to Gemini and say, okay, take this and now help me write a post for LinkedIn. Done. And Tish says, I don't know how to present on LinkedIn. You know, live video is one thing, but the repurposed content, the shorts, I'm telling you, it's blowing up over there. LinkedIn right now, if you go to LinkedIn right now and scroll your feed, I guarantee you'll see the short forms. They've got their own version of shorts right there, and it's there. So yeah, trying to juggle it all. I get it. I hear you. Again, use AI. This is, in my opinion, one of the easiest and low-hanging fruit ways you can use AI. By the way, I think it's very possible to overuse AI 100%. I can't stand overly AI thumbnails. Hate them. Especially when they have no likeness to what people really look like. Drives me absolutely insane. It's just, I don't like it. But that's just me, right? That's just me. Unless you're trying to be funny, right? Like some people, like there's the ones of like people like dressed like Superman, whatever. That's different. But just be careful with it all. Dr. We're wrapping it up, my friend. We're wrapping it up. But what I'll say about this, about AI, one of the ways that I support it and I agree is to, again, if you have a primary platform, let's say it's Instagram or let's say it's YouTube, take that piece of content, just grab the link, go to Gemini or wherever, and if you're paying for Claude, use Claude. If you're paying for chat, use the one you're paying for. I actually use all three. By the way, I pay for Claude and I use the free Gemini and free Chat GPT. Right now, I'm leaning into really Gemini and Claude only. I chose Gemini because, again, I was trying to optimize for YouTube. Gemini and YouTube are basically married. So they're owned by Google. That's why I did that. So what I did is that, what I'm saying is take the piece if you're, okay, you've got all this stuff you've got on YouTube. Grab the link, go to Gemini and say, I would like to start repurposing content from my YouTube channel on LinkedIn. I don't want to do all of the pieces, but I'm going to share a few links of some videos that I want to get started with. Put the link in there and say, help me write a post for LinkedIn. And it is, and here's the thing I'll say. Everything about AI right now, the more you give it, the better it's going to serve you. So be very specific. Say, here's why I'm on LinkedIn. Here's my thought about who I want to try to attract on LinkedIn. Here's my goal with LinkedIn. If your goal on LinkedIn is to try to get speaking engagements or guest appearances or whatever, then say that, put that in there, and it's going to help you craft stuff for that goal. And then it needs to know, like, YouTube, my goal is to grow. I want to find other creatives like me who want to follow me and learn from me, right? Like, look, every platform is different. I just had this conversation yesterday, and here I'm about to have it again. When I think about LinkedIn, everyone's in development mode. They're either there, people in LinkedIn, this needs to be a podcast episode or short or a video. Okay. People on LinkedIn are in development mode. They're either there to learn about something, develop new skills, like learn or be led or mentored, being inspired in a professional mindset. They're there to develop their network, whether it be to get a new job or to develop their network of people they can sell to or whatever. Or they're there to, what was the other one I said? Develop a skill, develop their network, or develop their team. Okay? Their team and their tools. And so that is like most of what people are on LinkedIn for. So most people you have something that fits in there. It's just that you might need to tweak the way you title it or tweak the way you describe your input about whatever you're uploading over there. So think about it that way. Okay. So again, I mean, there's people like, that are super creative artists that are on LinkedIn, and they're basically trying to inspire people how to create creative environments in their workplace. And then, oh, by the way, you can hire me too if you want to. But like, I'm just saying, you can pretty much take anything, turn it, angle it differently, do something differently, and it can be used in any of these platforms. I believe that, and that's what I think you need to do. So, okay. What are you talking about smiling? Hold on. If y'all want to go live as Mel's Maniac, send me an email. Just a fun live stream. Oh, you guys are ridiculous. You guys are silly. I don't need to smile. Campbell will make me smile. What are you talking about? Oh, okay. I see it now. I want to use a photo of Mel to create an image to video. Oh, I just did that yesterday for the first time. Creeped me out, you guys. Creeped me out. I even made Addie. I said, Addie, come look at this. Where you take a picture and then you say, make it a video. It was actually, okay, I'm just going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys because it is so, like, I was even explaining to Addie. She's like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Because I was like, this is insanely impressive about how it did this. She's like, well, and I said, and I explained it, and I'll explain it to you guys here in just a second. All right, hold on. This is so crazy and it's creepy. It's creepy and crazy and cool. Can they, the 3 C's? It's all 3 C's. All right, here we go. This is the one I did. Is it gonna be there though? Oh, yeah. Here's the okay, this is actually gonna be kind of funny. See, I gotta get, oh, it's in. I like accidentally discovered it. And Jennifer's been doing content lately, you guys, because I will tell you, follow Jennifer, Creator Classroom, because Canva moves crap around, and some of her shorts lately and some of her content has been about, oh, you need to know that they moved it and it's over here now and it's not that intuitive. Again, Canva is always changing their UI, and I'm literally like, stop. And it's not always for the better, in my opinion. Jennifer, I don't remember where I go to make it change. Is it in apps? Magic Media? Where did I do that? Because I literally like found it by accident. Tell me where it's at. Tell me where it's at. Okay, but let me show you guys this. This is so funny. This is the, I wanted to try the AI profile picture because I was just curious what it was going to make. You guys, I feel like I look like I'm like in a thriller movie right now. Okay. It's like, I just think it's so funny. I'm sorry. I can't. Oh, dang it. Click the right thing. We need Jennifer to tell me where I'm going to turn my picture into a video, an AI video. It is so weird. All right, here we go. Okay, there we go. This is the AI profile picture it made of me. Like, what am I wearing, you guys? I'm in like the dark streets of London. Like, what am I doing? Where am I going right now? Like, I mean, I was like, I don't think I can use that. First of all, also, one of my eyeballs, like, let's look at this. Like, one of my eyeballs is like clear and the other one's not. I kind of have 2 different colored eyes. My eyes are hazel. Like, they are hazel. So that's kind of there. This is more brown. But literally, I was like, what are we doing? What am I wearing? Got like this. I mean, it took a picture. It did okay. I think it made my face kind of fat. Just saying. Personally, I think it looks like I'm a little bit like, it's pinkies up, Mel. Seriously, I'm like, what? I mean, I actually do have a coat kind of like that, but still. Jennifer, we're waiting on you to tell me where I am changing my picture to animate it. It was this one right here. Where is it at? How did I do it? I don't think it's there. Or did it? No. Tools? No. Where did I do it? You guys, see, this is the thing. I'm not in here enough. Jennifer's like, oh, I need to make sure I tell her exactly how to do it. Let me see. Okay, you guys, I want to find it. Actually, I think it saved it as one of my videos. Hold on a second. Upload. No, it's not there. Where is it? Click edit, go see under tools. Okay. All right. We're going. We're doing this. You guys, it's so creepy what it did. I'm telling you. Okay. Edit. Okay. Yeah. I literally was like, how did, there it is. Okay. Let me reshare. You guys, this is so ridiculous. Okay. Oh, no, that's not what I want. This is what we want. Okay. All right. So you're in your image and you go to edit, like she said. Okay. So that's what she said. She gave it to us right here. Click edit and go under tools, image to video, and it offers you this stuff. So yes. So right here, image to video. Okay. When I click this, generate 5-second video. Yeah, let's do it. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so weird. It's so weird. Okay. So yeah, you guys did derail me, but it's okay. It's too good. It's too fun and too good. And then I'm gonna go. We got stuff to do. Oh, I'm going to an herb workshop tonight. I'm going to there's this place called Watson's Nursery here in town, and it's here locally, but then they also have one in Fishers, which is like 45 minutes away. And tonight there's an herb workshop I signed up for me and my sister-in-law forever ago, and it's tonight. I'm so excited. It's gonna be really nice outside, but you know, I love herbs. I have my own herb garden, but I thought it'd be fun. All right, look at this, you guys. Oh, this is different from yesterday's. What am I doing? Okay, I wish I could find yesterday's. See, I didn't add it to the design. Oh, no. Where is it? I wanted to add it. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Okay, you guys, I'm telling you though, there it is, add. Yesterday's, it was like, it had me, so you see how like, oh my gosh, it was so creepy, guys. Okay, so it had me yesterday, like I'm like looking and turning, and when I did, let me show you the original. Let's see. Let's go down here. When I did, it was like on the screen. Oh, it's gone. When I was looking at the screen, it literally knew that I had a camera. Oh God, get over here. It knew I had like a camera, and it knew that there was a camera on me, because in the photo you can see the screenshot of me on screen. And yesterday's it had me get into the camera, and then I came out, and then I like look at the screen, and I look back, and it literally on the screen, it moved my head. Like it knew that I was like on, like had a camera on me, and it was showing on screen. Like it knew all that, and it had me, you guys, it was very smart. But again, the videos are creepy. I mean, they're creepy. Look at this thing. Let's play it. What am I doing? What am I looking at? I mean, it's like it knows I make that face a lot or something. I don't know. Okay, now I cannot get my mouse back over here to StreamYard. There we go. Ugh, I don't know. All right, yeah, exactly. Insert Twilight Zone music. Anyway, all right, we're gonna be done for today. So this was fun. Had a lot of fun with you guys. Hopefully that you guys learned something a little bit. We talked about the shorts, and Marianne's laughing. I just am creeped out by it, but it is what it is. It's fine. I think we could actually probably have a lot of fun with it. There could be some pretty cool things you could do with that. Oh, I can't look at it right now. All right, everybody, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate you. And until next time, right? Until next time, I'll see you guys later, and probably next Tuesday. Kind of what I'm thinking. I think I'm going back to a Tuesday stream schedule. Tuesdays or Thursdays. I don't know. We'll see. Tuesdays or Thursdays is kind of what I've got in my mind. So we'll see. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it when I do go live or when I upload a new short. How about that? All right, everybody. Have a good one. I'll see you next time, and see you later. Toodles.